So you write, produce, and direct your own films, and worse, you have no money. How do you balance it all out? Well, I wanted to give some insight on how I do it as a writer, producer, director, and with no money, and how I've been able to make 13 short films in the last 3 months. My name is Isham, and yeah, I am a writer, producer, director. Some key things that I've been told over the years that have stuck with me. You kind of have to separate them, but at the same time, they have to overlap. There's looking at practicing each position separately and making things for yourself that are overall being able to practice all three at once. So you need to kind of look at, first and foremost, which are you doing? Do you want to practice just the writing hat first by itself? That like, pick a project that you're like, I'm just going to write this. You don't worry about the budget. You don't worry about the locations. You don't worry about the producibility of it. You're just practicing being a writer. Great. Now you can also practice stuff just as a director, whether it's something you wrote or something that a friend wrote or that you saw online, etc., that you can produce it and direct it. That's its own thing. Now, writing, producing, and directing by yourself with no money, these are the tips that I have for you. First and foremost is think with the two most complicated things that you're going to have to quote unquote deal with are cast and locations. Props, you can spend a couple bucks, you might have, a friend might have, a family member might have, fine. But cast and locations are going to be the two hardest things. Who's going to act in it and where are they going to be? What I recommend is this, is write for one or both. The ways I've been able to do that is literally make a list of the locations I have access to, whether it's friends' houses, families' houses, my house, is it local parks, local outdoor, like is it street corners or areas that you can film and it wouldn't be a problem. Additionally, start making a list of actors you have access to, whether they're friends, their family, etc., people who want to act, or people who would be willing to be in your movie. Then literally just start coming up with a million ideas. This is the time where the writer has to take over, but you have a little box to write within. It's okay, great. I have this actor and this actress, and I have this location. Great, let me write something for them there. Now, one of the things that I've done that's make this even easier is when I work with that actor or that actress to make sure I'm not asking for a favor, is I go, what do you want to act in? What do you need for your portfolio? And I work backwards from there. Okay, great. Well, I want to do something comedic. Great. Well, now I put myself in a little bit more of a box. Well, I want to speak with an Irish accent. Great. That's a little bit more of a box. Here's an Irish guy who wants to do comedy. Good. What is that story? Well, I have my house. Well, great. That is literally a script I'm writing right now. I have a friend who is an Irish, who's not Irish, but can do an Irish accent, who wants to do comedy, and I have my house. So good. Every one of my short films has been with actors I know and locations I have access to. Hence why I end up acting in my own things at times too. I've made 3 short films that I star in. Now, those short films, I don't like learning lines. So in those short films, I've done voiceover. Simple as that. I didn't have to learn the lines. So that's still me working as a producer and knowing, okay, great. How do I have an actor who doesn't like to learn lines? Well, great. As a director, how do I creatively solve that? I need to shoot different interesting coverage. And then, great, as a writer, here's this cool little monologue. Simple as that. Work backwards from what you have. And the great thing is, when you make bigger and bigger budget films, you constantly hear it's like, oh, we never have enough time, we never have enough money. So if you know how to write within a box, if you know how to write with the limited resources, as you have more resources, it's only going to get easier. Theoretically, it might still get more, it might get harder, but use this time when you have the less resources to push yourself to become more creative. You hear stories from, for example, Steven Spielberg on making Jaws, that the shark didn't work. The shark literally mechanically didn't work. So he had to get creative. Oh, we just see the fin. Oh, we just see him at the very end. And that's what made the movie. You're always running up against interesting things, so you might have to rewrite on set. But when you rewrite on set, when you have a bigger budget, you're still gonna have a box. Okay, here's these actors, here's these characters and these actors that we already have. Here's this location we already have, or that location fell through. What location can we scramble and get? If you know how to push yourself and you've already drilled in being able to do that, it's only going to make it better. So don't use the limitations as something to stop you, but use it as a way to push you and make you a better filmmaker.